Hello, welcome to another episode of Aaron Plays. In this episode, I'll be continuing the scenario Metal Rains, which is scenario 8 from Storming the Gap, World at War 85. I've so far played in the previous video turns 1 to 4. It is an 8-turn scenario, and in those 8 turns, the Soviets need to take Objective A and Objective B to win. I am playing the West Germans, and the solo assistant is playing the Soviets. We are at the stage of just about to start turn 5. I'll move myself out the way and we'll go straight into the scenario. Currently still available is I have 1 barrage of mines. The Soviets have 3 barrages of HE. Let's turn over that first card. And the Soviets are up. Okay, right, so with their morale of 6, command range of 4, 3 only applies if the command at the HQ is reduced. Okay, so taking the sequence of play, we have, there's nothing to refresh, command status, everyone's within command range, so everyone's in command. Missile reloads, they have no missiles that they need to reload. Disruption removal, they have 1 disrupted infantry unit here. Okay, and it's a morale check, so they need 6 or below. They recover from disruption. Okay. After that, off-board artillery strikes. Okay, their HQ determine if they got anyone within their line of sight. For off-board artillery, HQs or recon units can spot for the artillery. So at present, they haven't really got anyone in their line of sight, so no off-board artillery brought in. Okay, action phase. Okay. Just as I haven't really gone through this, but the actions that are available for each unit. There is movement, where the unit can move up to its full movement allowance. Direct fire, where it can fire, we know what. Move and fire, where they can move up to half their movement and then fire. Onboard indirect fire, if they were a unit that could spot for something that's on board, that could direct fire. There is none of those in this scenario. Or that a unit can assault. So those are the 5 orders. The one that baffles me is there's a move and fire, but there is not a fire and move. Again, I think that's a design decision. Why a unit can move and fire, but not then fire and move. There we go. So to determine what happens with the Soviets, as they say, they're controlled by the solo assistant, I've been drawing 1 card per formation. So they have 1 formation at the present moment on the ball. Well, the walls only have 1 formation. I will also, if there's something that gets detached from this formation, possibly draw a 2nd card for them. Okay, so the card number is 27. And I will be starting from the unit closest to me, working my way back. It's the sequence I like to be doing every time I draw one of these cards. Just card 27. So the closest units are these, so that would be classed as point blank because they've got one of my units next to them. And the first option on card 27 is fire. So it wants to fire into there. Okay. So they've got 2 BMPs. They'd be firing individually. And the infantry are still in the BMP. And the second option on this card is assault. Okay, which they could do as well. So let's take the top unit as actually firing. Now they can't use the anti-tank guided missile on the vehicle. It's too short a range. So, but they can use HE. One of the things I found out by my reread of the rules is HE can affect lightly armored vehicles, and a lightly armored vehicle is denoted by the circled armored value. So this BMP, the top BMP there, has got 2 at 5, which, because it's point blank, will be 2 at 4 at the marder in the adjacent hex. Let's do that. 2 at 4. They've scored a hit. The marder is saving on a 6. Okay, but it does get the modifier for the town, which gives an extra d6. So it's drawing 2 dice at 6 to save. No save, so that marder becomes disrupted. Okay, and let's actually mark that as the top unit's 5, but we'll mark the bottom one because I'll just move them down in the stack anyway. So ops complete. Okay, so the second marder, the second BMP could also fire, but it could also assault. So that was the 2 top options on there. The first one is fire. However, now that I'm disrupted, it might be more prevalent for them to assault there. So, well, the card says fire, then it says assault. I'm going to give them a 50% chance that they will actually dismount and go there. So 1 to 3, they will assault me. They will assault me. So the infantry in the second BMP come out of that, dismount and enter my hex there. Okay. And the BMP itself is then marked. Well, it has actually got half its movement value still available, so it can actually join. I need to check that. Okay, the rules are a little bit vague. When a transport unloads before, without expending any movement points, it can move. However, I'm not sure if it can join them in the assault, so I'm not going to. Also, the act of unloading, technically the infantry are unloaded in this hex first, so there is a chance of opportunity fire if with a unit with line of sight. Now, my unit back here has got line of sight, but it can only affect the vehicle with the Milan. And the infantry now already out of the vehicle. My Leopard tank also has line of sight, so it could affect the infantry with a HE shot before they enter. However, there is still so many Soviet units around here that I think I will not opportunity fire there, because these guys, if I do, they could swamp me. So we will move that infantry in there and proceed with the assault. The vehicle has still got half of its movement left, but it's quite happy where it is there. So I'm going to put them all under there, under the auspices there. And then the infantry will now be attacking my vehicle at 2 at 5, but because it's a vehicle on its own, that'll be 2 at 4. They improve. And because it's a city, they get an extra dice. So they're actually 3 dice at 4. Okay, so it's 1 hit on the marder. The marder will be fighting back with 2 dice at 6 because it's disrupted. If it wasn't disrupted, it'd be 2 dice at 4, but it'd be 2 dice at 6. No hits. So they scored 1 hit, which forces me out of the hex. So, and reduced, and still remains disrupted. And the infantry are then marked ops complete. And objective A, just move these all come out there. Both hexes now taken. I will shift that over to, it's now under Soviet control. Okay. Right, so that's that. Moving on to this infantry unit, following again, card number 27. It's on the hill, so it can't see this unit because of the woods. There's 1 blind hex, but it can see down into my units over here. Okay, so it's got nothing in range though, because it's only got a range of 2, 3, 4 at long range, so nothing in range. So it says execute. So that's even the blue doesn't apply. on the priority order, because that's when you have at extended range. So looking through the secondary orders, it says AEO closest to a unit that last acted. Okay. Well, it's closest. It says fire. Well, it can't fire. So next one down. Disrupted AEO. There are no disrupted units, so that one doesn't apply. AEO closest to a target, least LRM move towards. LRM being low risk move. A low risk move means moving out of line of sight. Okay, closest to a target. That's a target. If I move into the infantry into there, they would be back in line of sight. So a low risk move wants units to move out of line of sight. Okay, so any other AEO closest to a target? No. Okay, move off-board units onto the map. There are none. So this unit does not follow any of those criteria, therefore doesn't do anything. Moving on to the first of the T-62s here. No enemy in line of sight. Can't do the first order. Can't do the second order. Least resist movement. Okay, so if it moves towards target, so it says AEO closest to a target, low risk move towards. Again, if they move into here, they'll be in line of sight. So there doesn't appear to be any low risk move towards. So this card for out of seems to be default. So draw in the next card. See if anything applies there for this unit. Okay, so it's got no one in line of sight. This is card number 14. This highest firepower, AEO, fire. No, no one available. But disrupted AEO closest to my unit. If it is zero, disrupted AEO closest to a PU, player unit. If in 0 dB, which they are, move towards cover. Okay, so that could be M10 or L11. Okay, 1, 2, 3, M10. Well, actually, it could be the City X here as well. Move towards cover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It moves into the city there. Move towards cover. There would be breaking, stacking there because there's 2 BMPs, but they are trying to move to that city. So they could go 1. Now I could fire there with a Leopard. They're on level 2. I think the Leopard will take that shot. Okay, so that will be 4 dice at 3 because the range is within point blank. Point blank. So that would be 4 dice at 3, which would be 4 dice at 2. These leopards are killers. Okay. Anything but 1s to hit, and because there's a HQ with it, that'll be 6 dice. Okay, that's 5 hits on the T-62. It's like a death ray. All right, it's got 3 at 6 to save. It's also uphill, so that's 4 at 6 to save. Didn't save any. T-62 is a wreck. Holding box. That goes into the casualties. However, that does mean that that's now ops complete. All right, so N11 using the same card. Highest for, yeah. If in 0 dB, move towards cover. Again, there's 3 options. So rolling dice for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still try for the city. Again, 1 movement point. The Milan, the Marder at the back here. Let's see. There's your line of sight there. Right. The woods in I9 will block. This is full hex blocking, even though the trees doesn't cover the full hex. Any blocking terrain is full hex. The height advantage, this here will create a couple of blind hexes equal to the distance to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes there. There'll be 4 blind hexes. Anything but way back here cannot see. So my marder cannot see there. The Milan, okay, blocked by this hill hex here. So no, that's 1 to there. 2, 3. This still can't see. This, better double check. No block by the city hex here. 4, 5 into the city. Okay. Now could the Milan take a shot? It could. But it could doesn't mean it should, because there are still a lot of Soviet units not accounted for. No, I won't. Okay, so that Soviet unit gets into there. It's now ops complete. All right. These are the HQ. Again, they don't have one in line of sight. So looking at the secondary orders, still on card 14. The reason why I changed between the 2 cards, if it doesn't, it'd run out of options. There was no options. I thought if there's no options on the card at all, move on to another card. The Soviets aren't going to sit there. Highest firepower AEO closest unit that not, well, again, they've got no one that can fire. So that one won't apply. So we're down to the second one, which has a if in a 0 dB, move towards cover. All right. So they are in zero, they're in the open here. True, they can't be seen, but they are in the open. So they would move towards this cover. So, well, that one's now overstacked. That is further away from their objective, and that's where they're heading to. That's the cover they're going towards. That unit would create stackers, so one at a time. That's 1. Now my Milan can fire. Can the Marder fire? No, this woods here is blocking anything that's happened. Probably here, that was exposed, then probably. So no. So the Milan. Okay. This is creating as it's only 1 hex different distance, it's only creating a bright hex with 1 hex behind it. Anything through here to here is visible. So I will fire the Milan at this one. So the range is 6. Okay, so that's normal range or effective range, whatever the terminology is in this one. That range is effective. Okay, so they're rolling 4 dice at 4. That's 2 hits. Okay, so this is uphill. So it gets an extra bonus, and it's in a wreck. So it gets a bonus for that. So it's got a save of 5, and it'd be rolling 3 dice. 3 dice at 5. I've got 2 hits coming through. Okay, both hits come through. So the BMP is disrupted, reduced as well. The infantry inside them are automatically disrupted as well. And on a 1, 2, 3, they're okay. 4, 5, 6, they take a step loss. They're okay. As soon as it's disrupted, that pauses its movement. So that's, oh, I've got to roll for my missiles in the Milan. They are now marked missile low. Reloading missiles, and the unit itself is now marked ops complete. Okay. So over to here, move towards cover. This hex is now stacked, so they can come round, stacking in here. Yeah, so these are maximum stacked. They could come to this one, not moving towards objective. Right, they want to get into that cover, still 4 of that, so they can get there. 1, 2. Okay, that clips. Does that clip? It clips. I can't see there. 3, 4. Into the woods. And again, now marking ops complete. Okay. And then the last unit here on card 14. Okay, there is only one bit of cover left. It's over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ops completed. Okay, that's the Soviets done. Right, over to the next card draw, which is the Germans. Okay, so I should have also marked this as ops complete as soon as it's been in an assault. Okay, remove those. Mark as that. Okay, so the sequence, just done the refresh. Command status, everybody's in command. Missile reload, so make a rail check on those guys. Yep, they found some more missiles. Let's remove that. Disruption removal. Rail check. No. Okay, that's still on them. Off-board artillery. I think I'm going to have to drop some now. So I will get my fire for effect marker. I'd like to drop it. Yeah. Okay. So Accuracy, anything but a 6. Yeah, that's accurate. So I am dropping some mines. Artillery delivered mines there. There. And there. Delete. Effect marker. Okay, so that means I've now used up my 1 shot of mines. Okay, hopefully that will slow them down. Again, I don't think the actual solo assistant cards mention anything about mines. They've got obviously one clear path. Would they go all the way around, or would they try to bludgeon their way through? It's a time thing, isn't it? So, as a doctor would say, it's a timey-wimey. Okay, actions. Actions. Right, well, this disrupted unit here can't move because it's adjacent to enemy. He's just sitting there with his knees knocking. As I've just seen with it, this Marder will be able to see once these Soviets start breaching over this, but it can't really do much at the present moment. But that's fine. My Leopard, however, well, I would call that a target-rich environment. The biggest threats to it are the T-62s. Taken out one, let's try and take out the other. 3 hex range, again, 4 at 3, because of the range, 4 at 2. And then the HQ. HQ adding 2. Anything but 1s. Again, that's 5 hits. Okay, so the tank's got 3 at 6. It gets protection from the city, giving it an extra 1. 4 at 6 saves. 5 hits coming in. 4 at 6 saves. It saved 1, so 3 hits get through. Oh, yeah, I did 5 hits. 4 hits get through. It saved 1 of them. Yeah, 4 hits. I did 5. It rolled 4 dice. So yeah, 1 extra got through. Right, so unfortunately these T-62s now points-wise in the game system, T-62 is 26 points. So 2 of those, 52 points. And 1 of those Leopards, 58 points. Is 1 Leopard 2 the equivalent of 2 62s? I don't think so. I don't think so. That Leopard is just, say it's like a death ray. However, it is vulnerable to probably the BMPs in a moment. 1 hit hasn't been accounted for, so that will go on the infantry. Okay, it doesn't get an additional save. So he's been disrupted. Okay. My guy's ops complete. The Milan will fire into the woods at the BMP. OX range. So it's normal range, 4 dice at 4. 3 hits. Okay, now the BMP got an armored save of 5, gets 1 for the woods, and gets an additional 1 for this being an anti-tank guided weapon firing into blocking terrain. So it's getting 3 dice at 5 to save. And there's currently 3 hits. It didn't save any of them. Okay. going to pause, make sure I've done that correctly. Yes, that was done correctly. The blocking train does give them an extra save. They haven't saved it, so that BMP has been taken out. Okay, so let's place a rec in the hex. Move the BMP to the holding box. As that's been eliminated, we now check to see what happens to the infantry. 1, 2, 3, they are reduced. 4, 5, 6, they are eliminated. They are eliminated. Okay. As there is nowhere for this HQ to go, as there's no one still for it to stack, it is removed into the suppressed HQs, and then we roll for it. 1, 2, 3, he's okay. 4, 5, 6, he's reduced. He's okay. That. Roll for ammo on the Milan. Yeah, missile reloading. Right, I'm just going to recheck, make sure I did that casualty on the HQ correctly. No, not quite. If all units eliminated with that HQ stacked with, it is automatically reduced. So yeah, just done that in the holding box. There's the holding box, currents over casualties, and the HQ suppressed. Okay. And my infantry marked with obstacle. Okay, so that endeth for me, the Germans. Okay, next card draw. First end operations. Put that aside now to remember that. Next card draw. That ends the turn. So that's turn 5 completed. Okay, let's go through the end of turn stuff. Which first of all is delete all the admin counters. Okay. Then we have check fire for there's a fire, remove suppressed HQs. Right, so the Soviet suppressed HQ is now moved to the HQs and support weapons ready to be deployed. That can be brought back on the map the next time the Soviets activate. We then have return the cards to the card deck. So there's the cards, move that into there, and then return to formation deck. Move the turn marker. Turn 6. Okay. Well, let's push on. Let's do turn 6. Okay. There are nothing else to do before we draw the first formation card. Here it is. Battlefield events. Okay, so let me get the event table. Let's roll on that. 2d6. Roll a 4. Refer to the right side. I'll look at the friction there. 4. We have weather change. There's been a significant change in the local weather influencing the battlefield. The weather for all scenarios begins at clear, and unless indicated in an individual scenario rules. Okay, fair enough. Each time when this event is picked, the weather may change significantly. Roll 2d6 on the weather change table. Let me find the weather change table. Okay, found the weather change table. Right, rolling 2d6. That's a 4. So on a 4, it says weather goes to level 2. All right, so we've got a weather track here. Starting at 0 is clear. So this now moves to level 2, which means what? We're on a summer map. Heavy rain has just started. Okay, how does that affect things? Right. Okay, so we have line of sight, maximum line of sight not affected, maximum movement points not affected, direct and indirect fire not affected. LR, long range fire effects. So we're firing at long range, it'd be +2 to hit. Makes sense, okay. Point blank fire effects, none. Close enough, perfect. Bad visibility defense bonus, +1d6. Everything gets the lack of visibility through rain, an extra d6 on the defense bonus. Fair enough. We haven't got any helicopters or close air supports. We haven't got any fires, and there's no mud. So the only effect on us is that long range shots get +2 to hit. Well, there's not going to be much long range shots now because we're almost at knife fighting range. The bad visibility, though, is the +1d6 defense bonus. Okay, so I'm going to have to remember that. What might be the best way to remember that? Okay. Have we got a map? Weather. Admin encounters. Weather. There we go. Right, I'm going to stick the weather on the map and the counter there. Hopefully, I'll see that and go, yeah, +1d6 defense bonus, because it's something I'm likely to forget. You know, I'll claim age as a defense on that one. So yeah, a separate weather table. Again, very nicely done. Right, so that's anything else on there. Find the results of the roll. Remember the mains at the new level until weather change effects changes it again. Mark the current weather level on the done that. Weather effects are not cumulative. Okay. All right. So random event actually did something. Okay. Next card draw. Myself. Right. Okay. So going through the sequence. Refresh, nothing to refresh at the moment. Command status, everyone's in command. Missile reload, check on this. Milan, no. I believe if they fail that roll, they are still looking to see if they have, you know, someone saying, are you sure we don't have any more? So infantry unit, leave the missile ammo reloading marker on the unit. Okay. Disruption removal. We're looking for a 7 here, morale check. Yes, so there's disruption on the Marder. Okay. Offboard, I have no further offboard artillery. Okay, actions. Right. This Marder is in a bit of a precarious position. I think he's going to try and get. I'm not going to run him through my own minefields. I'm going to move him this way. So, 1. Disrupted units can't fire, so I'm okay from that one. This one can't see. This one can't see because of this. What is this? Blocked by this wood hex. This one can't see because that's blocking terrain and that's blocking terrain at this angle, and they're all disrupted anyway. 2. Again, no one can see him. 3. Ops completed. Okay. My Leopard tank will take a shot down here onto that BMP. 4 dice at 3, 4 dice at 2, 6 dice at 2. Again. All right, that's 5 hits. He's rolling a 5 to save. He can get 1 for the woods, so it's 2 dice he's rolling to save. You get 1 for being concealed because he's not marked with anything. So yeah, you can apply conceal. So it's 3 dice at 5s to save. He saves 1 of them, so 4 hits through. So he's eliminated. Okay, so ops complete. Rolling for the infantry, 1, 2, 3 are only reduced, 4, 5, 6 are eliminated as well. So he's reduced. Okay, I should place a wreck in that hex. So let's bring you back for the moment. Use you to place a wreck and then remove you. Rather than search around for the counters. There we go, there's the wreck. Infantry disrupted. Okay. 1 hit hasn't been accounted for in that hex. So there's a potential for fire. So I think it's on a 5 or a 6. No fire. All right, so that's, and again, I'm quite happy with the Marder sitting in the back because he covers anything coming over this way. All right, so that's myself done. Just remove all the movement trails. Okay, draw the next card. Myself again. Okay. Admin, remove the ops complete markers. Check for that missile reload. Yeah, they're fine. Okay. I'm actually not going to activate anything because the Soviets could still activate, and if I've fired everything off, I've got no opportunity to fire. Everything that's an instant threat to the Leopard has been at least disrupted. So, yeah, let's leave it at that. Next card. First end of operations. Next card. The Soviets do get to go. Okay. Soviets are in a little bit of trouble here. Okay, the first thing they can do is refresh. They've got nothing which is ops complete, so that applies. And next up is command state. So they get now to bring on their HQ back. All right, I'm going to bring him here to at least try to, given that those guys have a better chance of recovery. Okay, so that is then missile reloads. They've got nothing unloaded missile wise. Disruption removal. Okay, let's start in the village. So we're looking at their morale, which is 6. No. The one in the woods here. Yes. Okay, these are all okay. Right, ones with the HQ. The infantry on their own, they're fine. The ones in the BMP, so their morale 6, improved by 1 to 7 for the HQ. Yes. Okay. And the other infantry, because they were in the BMP. Right. Okay. That's disruption removal. Offboard artillery strikes. Yes, they can now. They've got HE. Right, they've got 3 barrages, but the maximum they can bring down in any single activation is 2. Well, one of the weaknesses of armor, let's see if we can exploit it. Let's bring a HE round in here. Okay, so that's the fire for effect. All right, on the HU, anything but one is accurate. That didn't go well for the Soviet. Okay, I've got to now check the rules on drift and see where that lands. No, a 1 is accurate. It's a 6, it's inaccurate. The Nations at War system, which is almost identical, they have it the other way around. Why? Don't know. Just to confuse a 55-year-old brain, I think. So that is accurate. On a 6, it would have been inaccurate. Okay, so the effect of that, if we look at the Soviet holding box, it tells us they're rolling 3 dice at 4 for that barrage. Okay. All units in the hex would have been affected, but there is only 1 unit in there. So they're rolling 3 dice at 4. All 3 hits. Okay, now armor doesn't get all its dice for saves. You see, this says 4 at 5. Don't get that against HE or from offboard artillery. Mainly is it because it's the type of ammunition, size of the ammunition, shells arriving from the top down on top of the vehicle. It gets 1 dice at 5 to save, but it does get the 2 hits bonus for the woods. That's 2 dice at 5. And because I'm not marked with ops complete, I still get the concealment. 3 dice at 5. Okay, to save. 1 save. 2 hits got through. Ouch. Well, that is my strongest unit, so it is now reduced. Right. Flip that. And disrupted. Effect on my HQ with a reduction. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's 1 barrage gone. Now, I know I'm firing this off here. They've been waiting for this, and I'm letting them give them the opportunity. I'm using judgment calls on this. Now, the second barrage, would they now fire on a new target to reduce and pin that down, giving them a chance to come through? Or would they finish off the leopard, try and finish off the Leopard 2? And possibly then disrupt my HQ and such forth. With that unit disrupted and that, then they could probably get some movement going. But the HQ, I'm going to make it a random roll. Okay, they can definitely see both of those as targets. So 1, 2, 3, they keep on hammering the Leopard. 4, 5, 6, the infantry. What would I do as a player? I would hammer the Leopard. I really would. Let's hammer the Leopard. Bring in the second lot of artillery. Battery. Same place. 4, 5, 6 to hit. 2 hits. We know it's 5 to save. Disrupting now stops them being concealed. So they're getting 2 at 5 to save. And there's 2 hits. Saved 1 of them, but the Leopard only actually had 1 hit left on it. The Leopard has been taken out. So as you can see, my strongest unit, or the Leopard 2, they are vulnerable to HE, high explosives. My HQ is now removed and it's reduced. It's in the suppress box. Okay. That's the second lot of artillery done. Disruption and fire for effect. Boom. Okay. And that still doesn't use up the Soviet HQ. That's just it doing one of its little tasks that it can do. Doesn't get marked as ops completed. So I will now draw a card. Now, I think I possibly should have drawn a card for the Soviet. In fact, I think I should have drawn a card for to see if they'd have brought them for off-board artillery. But considering this is the first time in this scenario they've had the opportunity to, and considering the previous attempt at this scenario when I was playing the Soviets, I never got an opportunity to drop the HE due to electronic warfare, which I have removed from this scenario at the present moment. It was too darn exciting to actually, blimey, let's actually get some artillery down there. Yeah, that was a judgment call. So apologies if someone wanted me to play it purely to the cards, but that was a pure judgment call. I wasn't going to leave that up to a card. They had an opportunity for the first time to bring some artillery down, and they took it. However, that is now severely weakened my defense. But I'm not here just to win, guys. I'm here to also enjoy the game, enjoy the narrative. And they must have been so eager to get some artillery down finally on the map. Okay. So now for their activations, again, starting with units that are closest to me, which would be this unit, and probably this one, then that one, then that one. So starting with this. So we're looking at card 28. All right. This is a disrupted unit. So it won't be looking at the priorities. It's looking under secondary. It says highest, first option on card 28. It says highest firepower, AEO, furthest from the lowest PU firepower, player unit firepower, fire. Well, okay. Highest firepower, AEO, furthest from the lowest player unit firepower, fire. Okay. They could fire into here, and these guys could fire into here, but not with their Milan, the anti-tank guided weapons. So I don't think that's an option. AEO, closest to a unit that just acted. Fire. Again, they haven't really got the weapons to fire with, because the Marders are out of line of sight. AEO close to a unit that just acted, or victory objective, move towards. Okay. Well, if we know the disruption unit can't move, there's nothing here about what disrupted units do. Disrupted unit can't move towards enemy. So he won't, but he'll stay there. So moving on to this one. Okay. He doesn't have, well, yeah, he doesn't have one line of sight. Those first two objects, again, won't apply. So he will move towards the victory locations. Okay, so it's towards the village there. Now, there's mines in the way. But they've got to go 1, 2. Now, my marker can see them here. So that'll be a HE attack, within 4 hex range, 2 at 6. No hits, ops complete. Okay. All right, it will enter the minefield. 3. Okay. Effect of the mine. 1, 2, 3, no effect. 4, 5. That'll be 1 hit. 6, it'll be 2 hits. No effect. Now, there's also a chance that the mine could be actually all used up in that hex. So let me just verify what that would be, the chance of that. Okay, so we're rolling for minefield depletion on a 6. It is removed. No. That infantry is now marked ops complete. Okay. So now checking in here. Again, line of sight, you can see over here, that is a range of 1, 2. So it's within the Milan, I keep saying Milans, the BMP's anti-tank guided weapons cannot affect the infantry. So we're looking at the HE, which is out of range. They've only got a maximum range. Well, actually, no, 3. 1, 2, 3, an extended range, 4, 5. So that's be their maximum. So looking at the blue on this card 28, it says good order, AEO, less than good order player units, AEO passes. They've got more units than mine, so that doesn't apply. So moving down, again, that will go down into secondary, move towards victory location. All right. So we've got BMP on its own and a BMP with infantry. Okay. So we'll start with the BMP on its own. 1, 2. Okay. I think I will chuck a Milan at it. At that range, 1, 2, 3, 4x range yet. They're moving towards. They're going to go into there. Let's see what happens from the minefield. 3 into there. Okay, so the minefield attack. 2 hits, boom, boom. Okay, so he is now reduced. And disrupted. Okay, check for minefield depletion. No. Okay, so I better put the infantry on top so I don't forget. Okay, so I didn't have to use my Milan for that. All right. Okay, the next one with infantry. That's me towards it. Okay. 1, 2. That's now fully stacked. 3. Minefield attack. Oh, I got lucky on the minefields. Well, you can look at it. They got unlucky on it. So, actually, yes, that is correct. Reduced, disrupted. I think though they've forced out the minefield hex, so I'll check on that. The infantry 1, 2, 3, they're okay. Yeah, they're okay. They are disrupted, but otherwise they're not taking any losses. Let me check on the minefield attacks. Yeah, when you take a hit from minefield, you actually fall back to the hex that you came from. So sometimes real counters are easier. All right, so let's put that back into proper order. So that meant, so if it hit, that unit would also be back there. Did I roll for the mine depletion? I can't remember, so I'm going to roll for it anyway. No, it's not depleted. Okay. So that just leaves these boys. Okay. Victory first. 1. 2. Moving towards that objective there, but at that point they now can engage, or will they go through the minefield towards their objectives? Get rid of my unit here because they are infantry, or move through the minefield. I would say they try and take out my vehicle. I mean, this is still turn 6. 1 less unit for me on the board. Okay. They're infantry at 2 at 5, but because they're infantry, they're at 2 at 4. 2 hits. My vehicle back is at 2 at 5. Nothing. Okay, so my marder is actually taken out. 1 hit disrupt, 1 hit to finally kill it. So actually put that back. Place a wreck. Then remove. And then take over the what's complete marker. Again, judgment call. Initially moving towards objective. You can't come through this route at the present moment. It's clogged. So attempt to move around. I suppose I could have fired here. The marder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. But there's a more juicy target that's possibly coming this way. We know they're heading towards the victory location. Here it comes. 1. I haven't fired the Milan at this stage. I will now. So 4 dice at 4. It's not within long range, so the weather's not affecting it. It will affect the defense bonus for this unit. 4 dice at 4. Ooh, that's 3 hits. No, sorry, 4 hits. 4 hits. Save-wise, they get 1 at 5 natural, 1 at 5 uphill, 1 at 5 for the weather. So it's 3 dice at 5. It's taking 4 hits at the moment. All effective. Okay, HQ might still be on the map. So this is removed. Keep doing this. Place wreck. Then remove it. The infantry, 1, 2, 3, they are reduced. 4, 5, 6, eliminated. They are reduced. So the HQ got someone to stay with. And they are all ops completed. That's the Soviets done. End of operations. Okay, so let's finish off the turn. Delete admin counters. Remove. Okay. So as a quick roundup, I'm going to finish this turn at this point. The Soviets taking severe losses, but the Germans are down to 2 units. We have just finished turn 6. We've got turn 7 and 8 to do. Let's move that, return to the formation deck. There. Okay, well, I'm going to end this video here. Please like and subscribe. And put anything in the comment section if you think I was doing anything outrageously foolish with the AI, let me know. If you agree with my decisions with the AI, let me know. But any comments would be appreciated. Even if you're just telling me you like what I do, or if you dislike what I do, and why you dislike what I do, or why you like what I do. I've decided after this scenario, I will be playing another one, but it'll be multi-formations, and I've got 2 house rules I would like to bring in. But I will discuss those only once I actually confirm that those are 2 little house rules I'm going to bring in. So I'll keep that as a surprise. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. All the best.